If you've ever stood in a kitchen wondering whether a manual espresso maker is worth the countertop space, you're not alone. Most of us want something that feels reliable, is easy to live with day to day, and actually gives you a decent shot without turning coffee making into a full-time job. The risk is ending up with a gadget that looks impressive on paper but ends up collecting dust because it's either too finicky or just doesn't deliver the caffeine you need. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The TBLOTYD 58mm manual lever espresso maker tries to bridge that gap between a full-size barista machine and a portable hand-pressed coffee contraption. It's marketed as a compact, lever-operated unit that lets you dial in pressure from 1 to 16 bars, with a transparent water tank that holds 345 milliliters. That sounds promising, but the real question is how it behaves once you actually start pulling shots in a normal kitchen routine. First off, who should consider this machine? If you're a coffee enthusiast who enjoys the tactile ritual of pulling a lever, likes the idea of tweaking pressure on the fly, and doesn't mind a bit of manual effort, this could fit nicely into your routine. Apartment dwellers with limited counter space will appreciate the relatively small footprint about the size of a standard French press. It also appeals to travelers who want a portable espresso solution. The lever mechanism is self-contained, no plumbing or electricity required beyond a simple plug-in for the heating element, which can be swapped out for a stovetop version if you're camping. On the flip side, if you're after the convenience of a one-button pod machine, or you need to produce multiple drinks in rapid succession for an office setting, you'll probably be better off with a semi-automatic espresso maker that automates the pump and temperature control. The lever on the TBLOTYD requires a steady, even motion to reach the desired pressure, and that can be a learning curve. People who aren't comfortable applying consistent force may find the shots inconsistent, especially in the early weeks. Now, let's talk about the day-to-day strengths. The 58mm brewing head is the same diameter you'll see on many commercial machines, which means the puck of coffee has room to expand and the extraction can be even. In practice, this translates to a richer crema when you get the pressure right. Because the lever is vertical, you get a clear visual cue of how far you've pulled, helpful for beginners trying to gauge the difference between a light 5-bar pull and a more intense 12-bar extraction. The transparent water tank is another practical touch. You can see the water level at a glance, so you never have to guess when the reservoir is running low. With a 345 milliliters capacity, you can make roughly 5 standard double shots before needing to refill, which is enough for most single-person households. Cleaning is where the design really shines. The whole brewing head and lever assembly separates easily, allowing you to rinse out coffee grounds without dismantling a complex pump system. There's no hidden gasket that needs regular replacement. The simplicity reduces the number of parts that can fail. For someone who wants a quick cleanup after a morning brew, the hassle factor is low. But there are trade-offs worth noting. Because the machine relies entirely on manual pressure, you're also responsible for maintaining consistent temperature. The TBLOTYD supplies a basic heating element that heats the water tank, but it doesn't have a built-in PID controller. In colder kitchens, you might notice the water taking longer to reach the optimal extraction temperature, which can affect flavor consistency. Some users have reported that preheating the tank on the stove for a couple of minutes helps stabilize the temperature, but that adds an extra step that defeats the just press and go appeal. Another practical weakness is the pressure range itself. While being able to dial from 1 to 16 bars sounds flexible, most espresso recipes sit comfortably around 9 bars. In real use, you won't spend much time below 5 bars because the shot will be overly weak, and pushing above 12 bars can put unnecessary strain on the lever mechanism. Overpressurizing can also lead to channeling where water finds the path of least resistance through the coffee puck, resulting in a bitter taste. So the wide range is more of a novelty than a functional advantage for the average home barista. The ergonomics of the lever also deserve a mention. The lever's travel distance is fairly long, which means you need a bit of arm room on the countertop. If your kitchen layout is cramped, the lever swing might bump into other appliances. The manufacturer designed the lever to be effortless, and in my testing it did feel smoother than some older hand-pressed models, but it still requires a firm push to reach higher pressure settings. People with limited hand strength or wrist issues may find it cumbersome. When it comes to value for money, the TBLOTYD lands in a middle ground. It's priced lower than most entry-level semi-automatic machines, but higher than a basic French press. You're essentially paying for the lever mechanism, the 58mm head, and the convenience of a